Roy, the Deputy Governor of this great crowd from Jerry, studying for the Governor. And today we are discussing a very emotive issue of a small girl by the name Tamara'S, who was actually, we use the word molested or defiled by a young man who is about 6 years. A young man who was known to the girl, and it was easy for that man to lure the girl to his own house because he was known to her and known also to the family. And we attended the funeral yesterday, and the whole issue was so emotive in that gathering. And people are saying that if they're around, they can do a lot of things. But now the matter is already in the hands of administration and security, so nothing can be done at the moment. But as the commission is saying, so a lot has to be done to ensure that that person, the law catches on him, and the best is done so that that kind of heinous act is not repeated. We understand in that place to Etemere, there are a lot of things going on there, and is not, we would say, is not a formal sector, is informal actually, and a lot is happening. A lot of gangs are there, and as a county, we are trying to the best we can to ensure that the people who are already there, everything is, the issue of security is brought to under in that place, because there was another day actually it also happened to a border person who also went there, and border person somehow was molested by the same people, and all the border people went down there to retaliate. But what happened is that the border people were also beaten by the gang, which is already there. So it's an area that security need to come out, in addition to being assisted by the county government, to see that those gangs are brought out of that place. Because if it continues like that, it means it will never come to an end. So for Tamara, we know everything will be done by this administration, by the government, to ensure that that person who did that is maybe either jailed or something is done just to prevent that thing happening again in that place. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Margaret Karungaro, Commissioner with National Gender and Equality Commission. A Commissioner with National Gender and Equality Commission. And I'm here on behalf of the Commission because Tamara is one of our special interest groups. And our special interest groups are youth, children, elderly, women and gender, that is women and men, marginalized and minority. So we are here as the right that we should be here because this is a minor who has been brutalized and killed. And we'd like to ensure that justice is carried out, not only carried out, but as fast as is possible. We would like to know how it's progressing. We would like to know how soon Tamara can get justice. And that's why National Gender and Equality Commission is here. We'll be attending the mention on 10th of June. Our lawyers will be attending. Our lawyers were in attendance yesterday at the funeral. And so ours is the role to make sure that Tamara gets the justice she deserves as one of our special interest groups. Thank you.
On behalf of the journalists we are going to send this footage to, particularly Kamau from Citizen TV, he asked that we ask you and the team indeed that these incidences are becoming a bit too far commonplace, especially in areas, slums. What are the mitigation measures maybe that can be looked into, or what is the bigger societal issue that perception can be shed a spotlight on what to do?
Thank you for that question because about 2 weeks ago, our lawyers were here because we've already got about 3 cases. We've got a case in court of a 7-year-old girl who was defiled by a priest, a 70-year-old priest. It has been ongoing. That's why we want justice very soon, because this case has been ongoing now. It's going to a year since the priest was apprehended. Then as we came to listen to that case, we got to know there was a boy who was sodomized. So we've also taken an interest in that case. We still have another small girl who was defiled, and they are all from Witemere area, except for the 7-year-old who was raped who was defiled by a priest. She was under his care in his school in Kieni, and he would come through the window at night and brutalize the child. Since then, we've removed, with the help of the county government, we were able to remove the child from that setting, and she's safe and secure and in school in the county. What we are concerned about is about families which are headed by children, whereas when the parents go to look for money and businesses, and then a child is left in charge of a family. Secondly, we are concerned about families which are being led by elderly, because like we know in Wetemere, there are quite a number of families where the grandmothers, the child is maybe 7, the grandmother is 80, and a child can disappear. We understand there's a girl who disappeared in March, and the grandmother is about 80. So she was not even in a position to report to police. She was just telling the neighbors. The girl never came back home. To date, the girl has not been found. We still understand there's a boy who disappeared in May in the same Wetemere area. So we are very concerned, and we are going to look at it more so that we can, our work is to give advisories to the government. We are going to look at households which are headed by children, households which are headed by elderly, households which are headed by single parents, because those are the households which we feel are most vulnerable. And the households which are headed by children, we feel it's difficult, because if children are orphaned and they are not even in this cash transfer that the government gives to elderly, we find that that household is so compromised. First of all, the head of the house is under 18, can be as young as 7 years. So we are going to look at it more comprehensively as a commission, and then we shall be giving advice to the government on the way forward.